start by introducing yourself, a little bit about what you do?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Darren T. I'm director at Swindon District Samaritans. I've been volunteering sort of around 8 years. So that's on the phones, picking up the phone and talking to people in distress, despair, all ages, all backgrounds. And for me, it's really been about being there at that point of need. So yes, I've been volunteering for 8 years, and I've been the director for around 2.5 years now. And been running the branch with a team of other volunteers. Samaritans is run by volunteers from top to bottom. So you're very unique in that sense that all the way through the charity we have volunteers at every level, and we rely on them to deliver the service that we do for those that need it the most.
So I understand that a lot around what Samaritans do is about talking to people, and sort of listening to what they're saying and not sort of taking judgment. Would you be able to give our readers a little bit of background around how open questions help with that?
Absolutely. I think you've hit the nail on the head with open questions there. We don't give any advice. We don't judge. It's a safe space for anybody to come and just run through whatever's going on in their life. So people may be thinking around various circumstances. If they've got money troubles or study is getting hard. And what Samaritans are there for is for that person to have a sounding board, to go through whatever it is in their life, to start to understand, try and understand what's going on. So we're not saying we'll fix every problem, but most people will have a solution to that problem, even if they know it or not. So we're there to enable these people to put those thoughts into some chronological order, to be able to get to the end of that and say, okay, I do have an option. Obviously, the Samaritans' vision is that fewer people die by suicide. So we're hoping that by talking, by showing that somebody cares, we can start to give other options or show that there are other options. And like I say, most of the time, the person on the end of the phone that we're speaking to will have that option. They just don't know it yet, or they know what it is. They just need that bit of confidence to be able to deliver it. And like I say, you hit the nail on the head with open questions, because it's about allowing an individual to explore what's going on. So when people connect with us, we go through a series of techniques, I guess, to listen. And listen is probably a misunderstood word in the real world, I guess. When people are listening in workplace or maybe even in family, very often they are waiting for their moment to talk. Whereas in Samaritans, we're actively listening, and that means using reflecting the words back that people are speaking to us with, using open questions, clarifying what that person's saying, because sometimes the person that rings us, they don't know what they're saying necessarily. It just comes out. So when we clarify back, it's a shock sometimes to hear what they've said. So it's a really powerful way of showing what that person's going through. And people can use this in their day-to-day life. I don't think it's restricted to Samaritans to do this. And Samaritans as a whole has put together some active listening tips for anybody to pick up and to run through. And they're quite simple to remember. It's a SHUSH acronym. And SHUSH as well is quite a powerful message, because silence is often the best way to get somebody to open up. If we're constantly trying to talk, how can another person really explore what they're going through? So if we stay silent, it gives that person space to fill the silence. I think in day-to-day life, it's very easy to try and fill those. It can feel quite uncomfortable. Whereas, with the Samaritan, we just step back and give that space. And anybody can do that. But the shush listening tips are showing you care. So actually asking the question in the first place, how are you doing? Having the patience, people don't necessarily open up straight away. So it may take a couple of times for somebody to talk about what's going on. but also taking that step back and taking the time and the silences as they come. Using open questions, so tell me more, rather than asking a yes or no question. Say it back, so that's the clarification coming in. And then have courage. It takes a lot of strength sometimes to ask this, and to delve into somebody's world and to try and understand what they're going through. But it's amazing how many people will open up if you'll give the space and time for people to do that.
Would you be able to give us an example of some of the open questions that sort of the most common to use?
I think, well, can you tell me more is probably one of the most important ones that we have, because it does just allow people to open up. So when you call Samaritans, the first question you get is, Samaritans, can I help? And although that is a closed question, really, it gives the first premise that, well, actually, I'm not sure. And very often people come back with, I don't know. And that's what we say, well, just tell me what's going on in your life. So it's not even necessarily that we're asking questions. It's just, talk to me. Tell me how's your day been? And very often from that point, you'll get further down the line, and you may find that somebody is having suicidal thoughts or is distressed and despairing. And at that point, we'll explore that further.
So it's quite apparent there that open questions can sort of be beneficial to getting people help and support that they need. But have there been any times that you think people haven't found support from the questions that they've been asked?
I suppose so. I think, particularly if it's family that are asking questions, it's very hard sometimes for somebody to answer those maybe truthfully, or they put a bit of a positive spin on it. Whereas Samaritans in particular, you won't know the person on the end of the phone. So it gives you that sense of anonymity that is quite important, I think, sometimes for individuals. By all means, friends and family, if we can open up to them, I would urge people to. But sometimes it can be hard, and that's where Samaritans come in and offer a different person, a different perspective, not trying to fix a problem or give a solution or tell people what to do to proceed. Whereas family, again, can do that. They can really, their questioning can have an agenda to fix whatever's going on. And that's not always going to happen just in one conversation, or it's probably never going to happen in one conversation. It can take a little while to get out of the circumstances that people are in. But that's where I think questioning can become a bit of a bit problematic, when there's an agenda to that questioning. And Samaritans won't have any agenda except for whatever route the caller wants to take.
Thank you for that. I think that's really helps, and hopefully there's things that people can learn from that.
I certainly hope so, yeah. And if people want to find out more about Samaritans, the way of listening, I'd urge people to look on the website. If anybody sees this or wants to find out, wants to talk to somebody, then we're a free telephone number, completely confidential line, and then that telephone number is 116-123. So anybody can call and get through to a trained listening volunteer.
And is there any other ways that people can get in touch if they're not sort of feeling that they can phone?
So we also have email, joe@samaritans.org. There's normally a wait time of around 3 to 4 hours, so it's not as quick as response as telephone. And we also have the text number, and I urge people to go online and have a look for that telephone number, if that's the way that they want to get in touch.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, so there's a lot of ways that people can get in touch, and Are there any ways that if people are feeling that they want to become a volunteer, how would they go about doing that?
So say send an email to swindon@samaritans.org. We can start the conversations there. We have information events monthly at the start of each month. I'd urge people to come along to those. And again, the dates and times of those are all up on the website for Swindon and District Samaritans. But yeah, either give us a call, drop us an email, and we'll get back to you and find out ways of volunteering.